Still a lot of great moments in this decade for the Mizzou basketball program. Let's start with a couple of honorable mentions, and this first one is from your senior year. A top 5 matchup in Waco, Texas. This was a big road win for that 2011-2012 Tigers.
Yeah, a huge road win. Again, top 5 matchup. I remember this locker room after this game. We were so excited because we had been talked about a good amount, but nobody knew we were an elite team. That made us an elite team in that win on the road.
How about this one? 2017 SEC tournament. Frankie Hughes, a three-pointer to force overtime, and then Kevin Puryear with the buzzer beater.
Yeah, it's a team that, again, 7-23 going into this game. And a guy like Kevin Puryear, a guy that played all 4 years of Missouri, had so many good moments, tough seasons where you don't win a lot of games, but you hit a big shot, a buzzer beater to win in the SEC tournament.
All right, let's get into the top 5. Now, this is just the opinion of a couple of guys here who watch a lot of basketball, so you may differ, but how about this one? It was a Super Tuesday, packed house 2013 against the 5th-ranked Florida Gators.
Just a blackout game, and I remember Phil Pressey playing so well in this game, passing the ball. He was a great player because he could distribute had eyes in the back of his head. How about Jabari Brown making three-point shots? We remember this bucket down the stretch.
Building exploded
Mizzou
on
Arena
that play.
was at 13,000 and an electric, and what a top moment in this building's history with a win against number 5 Florida.
Lawrence Bowers had the double-double coming back from the ACL. A lot of people didn't know if he'd still be Lawrence Bowers that we knew. He certainly was. How about this one? Conzo Martin's first year, and Missouri picks up its first win in program history over the Kentucky Wildcats.
Yes, a nationally televised game, a huge game at home. This was a team that had been thinking about the NCAA tournament. They had not been back in quite some time. They knew they needed a quality win, and in their own building, they weathered the storm. Jordan Arnet was very good. Jonte Porter was so good down the stretch. And how about Cassius Robertson? How good was he at Missouri? Big shots down the stretch.
Jeremiah Tillman showing flashes of what would come for him as a freshman in Missouri. Picks up the win over the Kentucky Wildcats. Their first ever win over the Cats, and they will meet in the conference opener this season on Saturday in Lexington. How about this? I was surprised to realize the only NCAA tournament win of the decade for Mizzou was in 2010, Buffalo, New York, against the Clemson Tigers. We were both in the building that day. You were on the bench. I was on press row as a sports anchor in the fine city of Buffalo.
Yeah, it was a great win, and this is, again, the year after we had gone to the Elite Eight. A lot of guys were talking about, could we continue to get back to that level? We had to win a game in the NCAA tournament. We had to beat a good team in Clemson. We would end up losing to West Virginia, but what a moment. I'm cheesing hard, smiling as hard as I can.
Boy, you're just finding someone who looks at you the way Sutton looked at Kimmy that day in Buffalo, New York. All right, here are the two big ones. Last game between the Tigers and the Jayhawks in Mizzou Arena before the rivalry renews in the coming years. I have never experienced an atmosphere like this before or since.
The Marcus Miracle, as I call it, was unbelievable down the stretch. I don't know if I took a breath the final 2 minutes. That jump shot right in front of my lap, right on the bench. What a win. The last game that Kansas would play in Missouri, we get the win. And my favorite moment, Kim English, hey, you know what? We're supposed to do this. We're number 4 in the country. We beat Kansas.
Kim reminding the fans, Missouri was ranked higher than the Jayhawks that day. Mizzou was the top 5 team in that matchup. And then, of course, number 1, Missouri, 3 wins in 3 days in Kansas City, Missouri, to take the 2012 Big 12 Tournament Championship.
Yeah, and speaking of Kansas, we're hoping we could play them in this game in the rubber match, but nonetheless, we go to Kansas City in front of our home state faithful. We win at Sprint Center. We wanted that tournament so bad. Kimmy and Marcus banged up. We find a way to beat a very good Baylor team again in that magical run in 2012 to get to 30 wins.
Yeah, Baylor team that was nationally ranked pretty much all season. Missouri won in Waco, in Como, and in KC mode to win that banner right there, the 2012 Big 12 Tournament Championship.